Hey geeks, it's that time once again. I have got myself quite a hefty stack this week for our poll, so we'll just go ahead and get started. First up, Darkhold, Black Bolt. So I am a sucker for the Inhumans. I love Inhumans stuff. So I have their run. I've been collecting. Obviously, I have their first appearance kind of hiding out back here as well. You might be able to see. And so when I saw this, I was like, yep, I got to pick this up. It's a fun read. The revelation at the end is sort of, I feel like a bit of a reach, even considering, we always suspend disbelief when we're reading comic books, right? But even still, it was a bit of a reach even for me. That being said, good fun. If you're a fan of Inhumans and or Black Bolt, chances are you will have fun with this as well. So I would pull question mark. I don't know if that's helpful or not. Human Target number 2. Boy, oh boy. Tom King writes real pretty. I gotta say, it's my scientific assessment of that book. The Human Target is a fantastic series so far. Only 2 issues in, but it's doing a really great job setting up the aesthetic, the vibe has been fantastic so far. This issue highlights a new character kind of entering his orbit, Ice, and so kind of her influence on the story and that sort of thing. So you get to bring in a little bit more of that DC world. But overall, really great issue this week. Pull it for sure if you haven't already. This one actually is a little older, Chicken Devil number 2. It took me a little while to track it down. But I got the first issue a while back, and it's like crazy frantic energy in this book. It's definitely very chaotic, sort of a roller coaster of profanity infused, like just wild stuff. And so I would say if you enjoy that kind of energy, definitely check out Chicken Devil issue 1 and see if you like that vibe. Because if you do, you will love Chicken Devil 2. I'm still having a lot of fun with it. At times it can get a little too frantic. Like, I don't know if I have a good grasp on where the narrative is. But overall, fun stuff. So, for me, it's been a pull. For you, I would recommend pulling issue 1, seeing if you like it, and if you do, issue 2 is more of the same, and it's helping to ramp up. The Me You Love in the Dark by Scotty Young came to a close. Last issue here. Fantastic. So good, you guys. Oh my gosh. So this series has been really interesting because it went on quite a journey in terms of genre, from a sort of self-reflective piece to romance, a sort of weird supernatural romance, to straight up like horror and suspense. And Scotty sort of dips in and out of these various genres very skillfully. Fantastic art, of course, and just overall, I really enjoyed the story. This is absolutely going to be a trade that I'm going to pick up and keep on my shelf because I want to keep the singles in nice condition. Because chances are it'll get solicited. Like I can see it translating well into a mini series or a movie. So definitely pick these issues up if you haven't. If you have trouble finding them, or if they're more than what you want to pay, then hold out for the trade. But definitely pick up the Me You Love in the Dark. So good. Darkhawk number 4. Higgins continues to just be amazing at everything he does and writes. So really enjoying Darkhawk. This was a really great issue because Connor gets to spend some quality time with a couple other more seasoned heroes. Granted, Miles is he's been at the game for a while now, but he's still kind of growing as a hero, and you also get to spend some time with Captain America in this issue. And so it's really great to see Connor sort of wrestling with like why he wants to be a hero, what makes a good hero, and how he's gotten involved with, kind of in over his head with the enemy that they're facing now that killed his friend, etc. So really great issue. I'm pulling everything that Higgins is writing right now. I could just gobble it up for days. So definitely pull. This was a big boy here. Avengers, sorry, 750, Legacy 750, issue 50 by Jason Aaron. It's quite sizable. Quite a lot going on in here. It's almost like a trade paperback. And I mean, there's a lot going on. I mean, that's why there are so many pages. There are a lot of things going on, both converging and then splitting out again. So I'll be honest, I have been following Avengers super close. Obviously, I have an idea of what's going on with Thor and with Hulk from Immortal Hulk and all that other stuff, but in terms of following the actual proper Avengers story, I haven't really done that in some time. That being said, this issue is actually pretty easy to pick up. Yeah, there will be some things where you're sort of scratching your head like what's going on, but generally speaking, it's a good foundation if you want to jump into Avengers. There is some wild, multiversal, big stuff going on, and this issue is a great way for you to get into all of that. So you don't have to be read up on the previous 49 issues from Aaron's stuff to enjoy and appreciate what he's doing here and what he'll be doing going forward. So pull it, check it out. Venom. New run of Venom. Ewing has tapped out Ram V on this issue. I wasn't a big fan of this one, to be honest. It was... I just didn't enjoy the writing. It just wasn't that good to me. And honestly, the last line just made me want to, groan and roll my eyes. So, there's some... mainly focusing on Dylan here. But it feels like you're sort of on a treadmill. It doesn't feel like a lot of proper progress is made, especially with the promise of that first issue and sort of the various ways that both Dylan and Eddie are trying to progress together. It feels like it falls out of sync in this issue. I'm not abandoning the run for sure. It's still going to be a pull for me, but this issue kind of let me down. So not the biggest fan of it myself. Death of Doctor Strange tie-in, White Fox. This was a fun read. I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed the Strange Academy tie-in. There is a good focus on Ami and White Fox, of course, and then Swordmaster also plays a pretty central role. I don't know why it was that I enjoyed this one so much more. I think the action was really great, some solid art, and yeah, I don't know. It was just a fun little getaway, and I enjoyed it. So if you are keeping up with Death of Doctor Strange and or you enjoy the White Fox Swordmaster kind of wing of heroes, then pick this up. It's great. Guess who's back? The Maniac is back. So Maniac of New York has returned with Bronx is Burning. I was a huge fan of Maniac of New York when the initial run came out. So I am thrilled to have this back on my pull. This reads like a classic slasher film, and that's not a bad thing. So, obviously Harry's back. And he is, now kind of invading different parts of the city. He's kind of migrated away from the automated train line that caused so many problems in the first run. And of course, the intrepid detectives are back trying to find Harry, discover what his weaknesses are, and bring his reign of terror to an end once and for all. But yeah, great start to this secondary run, and I'm looking forward to more of it. Bring on the Maniac. I'm ready. Trial of Magneto 4. I had fun with this one. I mean, how do I want to say this? I'm still enjoying it, but all of the suspense has basically been sucked out of the run. I mean, the first issue was fantastic because it was really setting it up as a proper whodunit, and then almost immediately it just turned into shenanigans, which, involving the Scarlet Witch, involving the Avengers and everything, it makes sense, but I enjoyed that early feel of the true mystery of what happened, and Magneto sort of having to defend himself and all that other stuff, like the intensity that Magneto had, the sort of villainous persona that he brought back to the surface. I was loving all of that stuff, and that has all since gone away. But still a fun read. If you're a fan of Wanda, then you will likely enjoy this issue as well. Some good development here, and then of course it's setting it up for a proper revelation here. And I'm just curious if it'll be worth worth the story that we've had so far. I hope it's a worthwhile payoff, but time will tell. So pulling still. The series is almost over. No need to abandon it just yet, but that's sort of where we are. Department of Truth 14, last one, and I mentioned this on Twitter, and I'm mentioning it again. Like a proper adult, I saved my dessert for last, and I enjoyed it so much. Tinian is just masterful at the stuff, you guys. Like, this is a really freaking good issue. So it reminded me, there are definitely certain parts of it that reminded me of Promethea. So if you aren't familiar, Alan Moore's Promethea is an amazing modern comic tale, and I would highly encourage you to seek it out and read it if you can. But there are definitely elements of that in here when it comes to the sort of personality and background of the Red Woman. We learn a little bit more about her, or rather the conspiracy around her, and it's just so good. Like, the dialogue is just so good, and the narrative is set up so well, and it's just a really engrossing and wonderful world that I am fully steeped in. And if you slap Department of Truth on anything, I will buy it. Really, I'm buying anything that has Tinian's name on it right now. But that's sort of my love for the series. So maybe I'm biased. I don't care. It's fantastic. I love this. So, anyways, pull it. Just pull it. Pull it all the time. Just as many as you can. Take it. So that's about it. You may have noticed too, sometimes I have stuff kind of set up here, sort of showcasing some of the books that I have in my series that I think you might like, or in my collection that I think you might want to check out. So this week I have East of West spotlighted along with Death and Return of Superman Omnibus, which is was pretty central to my initial experience with comic books. Probably the first series that I personally really connected with. I actually had the series on audio tape, so I would listen to it and sort of read through the comics, and it was a lot of fun. And then I have Dead Man's Hand from Law Dog Comics, which is an independent comics publisher, but I got to reconnect with the author at Comic-Con this last weekend, and so I had that back on my mind and thought I would put on display for all of you. So keep your eyes on the background here. I'll usually have some stuff here showcased, and if your interest is ever piqued, feel free to check it out. But anyways, until our next pull, keep reading, guys.